All right, welcome back. And Breakfast Daily, we're going to get into some community-focused conversations, and it's very important wherever you are to let us know what it is that's going on in your community, especially if the conversations that we're having here concern you as well. Of course, in the last few days, we've had issues of flooding. We've been talking about this since the Weija Dam was spilled, since the Weija Dam was also spilled, and you know, people are counting their losses after the Weija Dam spillage. And our colleague Umar Sada Amadou went over there over the weekend to find out and speak to some people about what it is that they've been experiencing in the aftermath of the spillage. Let's take a look at this report. We'll come back and then we'll delve into some conversations.
A week ago, the floodgates of the Weija Dam were opened by the Ghana Water Company Limited. That's because the volumes of water that came through the dam were so much that the dam could not contain it. As a result, the spillage ways were opened, and the aftermath of that was devastation. If I were standing here a week ago, the water would have been up to my waist level. The water entered people's homes and affected their properties. Their vehicles have been affected and people were displaced. On the Citi newsroom, we are back 1 week on to assess the extent of damage and find out how people are surviving 1 week on and what measures they are putting in place to ensure this doesn't happen to them again. You're welcome to the Citi newsroom and follow us on this journey here in Weija and Tetegu in the Greater Accra region as we bring you this comprehensive coverage on Citi newsroom. This house, beautifully done with a gate, uncompleted yet, but occupied. Let me go. Ago, you were here when the Weija Dam was opened last week.
Yes, please.
What was the situation in your house like that?
Oh, my house is a lot of, the water came here. It came inside our room, unless we move to the top.
How high did it get? So if you can use your wall here or that one to show.
This is the level. This is the level the water came.
So it was above this pipe?
Yes, please.
Interesting.
Yes,
and which means that it also submerged the sockets in your room and all
yes,
that?
Yes.
Did
He entered us the socket in the room.
Did it affect you in any way?
Yeah, he affected the socket, but later I called the electrician to come and remove all the sockets to clean inside before we put it back again.
How long have you been living here for?
I'm living here, I'm going to 10 years now.
10 years? Yes. This is your own place?
This is my own place.
Okay, so the water came from the river,
yes,
and the river is maybe 500 meters from here.
Yes, but this is the first time they will open this thing, it has affected me. But every time they will open it, I didn't get any problem of it.
When you were building here, did you know about this situation? Did you hear that this particular area may not be an area you should build at?
No, I don't know.
So you bought this land from a chief maybe or somebody?
Yes.
And so you have genuine documents, title, you've registered and everything?
Yes, please.
When you hear comments that suggest that you have built on a waterway, what do you say to that?
Oh, people are talking about we build on a waterway, but I don't know that this place is a waterway. This place from here to the dam is a long distance from here. So we don't know. But they've been complaining that they be having, from eastern region, the rain is falling from there, but they broke another dam. That's why the water is coming from the Weija Dam. So they have to open it, the water to flow. If they couldn't open it, it would take different thing altogether.
This would have been a house that is submerged because of the pictures that we had from that day showed massive devastation here as water came gushing through and entering every hole that it can find, every home that it can have access to. At what time did the water enter your house? Did it even enter your house?
Yes, of course. And around, let's say, up to 7 to 8.
Morning or evening?
Morning.
Okay.
Morning. That was Tuesday morning. We were here before the water is come. But I thought the water won't come because we are like...
You're high?
Yeah, we are high. So everybody was like, oh, we want to go out back. We decided to stay and see what will happen.
So it was not raining?
No, not a rain.
So you're just seeing the water entering?
Yes, the water is coming. But we thought it's like something that would just be like flood that we can pass inside, but it's not easy. And it's entered. If you can see, just this is the line of it here. This is where the water got to.
So you came all the way, came on top of this platform?
Climb this place, climb here inside, and then everything was there's spoil,
I
everything
don't
spoil.
understand. Where did the water enter from? From the gate?
From the gate,
So
like
you were watching the water coming.
and we thought it was like just it would take just the streets, like because how the like if like rain fall and we experience it around, but this one is very, I don't know, this is serious. The water came inside, spoil everything. The things that we lifted up, some were wet.
Wow.
Yes, our chair, the chair that we sit on inside,
So as
everything.
you live here now and it's just threatening to rain now, how does that make you?
All right, so that's just a brief update on what someone's experience had been over the period of the spillage. And a lot of people had these similar stories, you know, the house, floors were submerged, water going into sockets, because the water was quite high, water level was quite high. If you watched Breakfast Daily over the last weekend, you would have noticed that we went into a school, Talented Royal School, and the water was literally sitting, you know, beneath the level of the tables and chairs in one of the classrooms that we showed you. And so, yes, it's a very real situation. But this morning, I'm not here alone. I have been joined on the set by Apioko. And we're going to have a conversation. Apioko, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Yeah, you're looking very colorful.
Thank you.
Is this a royal blue?
It is a royal blue.
Okay.
It is a royal blue. It's a royal Monday.
Yes, it is.
I
yes,
see
it
you've
is.
got Breakfast Daily blue.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so had a good weekend?
It was a good weekend.
Okay.
It was a busy one, but it was a good one nonetheless.
Okay.
And you?
Yes, very restful, actually. It was a quiet weekend for me.
Rest is good.
Very restful.
Rest is good.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I'm up and rearing to go this week, but I want to talk about this issue of the, you know, aftermath of the spillage, you know, and people counting their losses and all that. For me, the question is, what are the lessons that we learn? Where are we going from here? How do we ensure that this never repeats itself? Okay, we've had years and years and years of experience with the Weija Dam situation, you know, and it doesn't seem that many lessons are learned even as these things happen. Question: this Weija Dam situation has never been like this before. How do we move forward beyond here so that next year, if the Densu is overflowing in the same way, we don't then take a hasty decision last minute and create this kind of, you know, horrible situation for all those people who we have allowed. We have allowed over the years, 15, 20, 30 years, to build in wetlands where they should never have built in the first place.
I think that part of the problem is it's not that we don't learn the lessons. Because when the conversation starts around devastating situations like this, you realize that we know what the lessons are. In many cases, we even know what we're supposed to do. We're just not doing it. We're just very reactionary, very sedentary when it comes to things like this. It's almost as though, you know, okay, our problems are many, so we'll deal with that bridge when we need to cross it. You know, but you can't be dealing with bridges. What if you get there and the bridge is not there to cross in the first place?
Well,
you know, and that's what has happened.
Exactly.
That is what has happened. You know, you can't predict how nature behaves. We have gone through a season in the past 3 or so years where rainfall has given us patterns that we haven't seen before. I mean, why is it raining at this time of the year? And it started in September and in such magnitude.
Actually, even, if you remember, through August, we also had rains, and it typically doesn't rain in August. Do you get it? I mean, I'm looking at June rains is typical, but then July, August rains as well into September. It's almost like we never had a break. You know, you have a few days, then it rains, a few days, then it rains. And you're like, really?
And if you remember, when we spoke to, just last week, I think it was last Thursday, when we spoke to people from the upper east part of the country, what they told us was that, look, because of the Weija Dam spillage, you know, they usually have mass destruction of crops. But again, because this year rainfall started, they had rains in March when they usually wouldn't, and you know whatnot. Because of that, they were able to, the farmers were able to get certain levels of harvest and harvest earlier than usual. And so that's coupled with the fact that the dam was spilled a little later than it usually is. They were able to minimize, you know, but that wasn't the plan. It was nature's plan.
Exactly.
It was nature's plan. And then we come further down south. We're dealing with the Weija Dam area where you went top. We're dealing with the eastern Tetegu. We're dealing with the eastern region, the New Jabin area and all that, right? It's a different story. The Densu hasn't overflowed its banks. They said since when? 1950 something, 58.
Yeah, 58.
I mean, that's 64 years ago. You know, so we can't predict how nature behaves, especially with this climate change conversation that at a national level, really, we need to start paying attention and stop thinking that it's a white man's conversation or it's a European conversation. It's not important. Clearly, it's affecting us the way it has been predicted to affect many parts of the world. But bigger than that, we need to sit and have a national conversation about how we attach importance to some of these things. We can't just be there and then raise our hands when the elements do a number on us. We must plan. We must plan. That is our problem. We are not planning.
So you see, part of the problem, as we were considering it, has been that the Densu needs to be dredged in certain areas, and that's part of the reason why it overflowed its banks, because certain areas are choked. So it's not the river we've always known it to be, but we've also known that it's been filling up, and we've not done the dredging. Well, talking about dredging, there's flooding that has happened at Agotime Ziope. Is it Ziope? Is that the correct? Ziope. Okay. So Agotime Ziope, the residents want the Toji River dredged. Let's take a look at this report, and you'll see that it's a national conversation. It's happening everywhere.
This is the Toji River, which residents say originated from the Republic of Togo. Silt and weeds have over the years taken over the river, making the flow of water difficult. This has seen the river breaking its banks after severe downpours, which destroys farms and households. After a recent downpour, residents in some parts of Agotime are still counting their losses after their homes were submerged in floodwater. Some residents have been narrating their ordeals with Citi News and say they are now lodging with relatives who were not affected.
10 o'clock la mele bobo edeklo yo demije echiame no no fogaka enuke abe Sunday amele bobo edo fumada pul eni agboda akaminya o edo level la fiama kakagede ehwo me fete tamia pena dola ole echiatale afiame nke jema kakana Monday afia otejo mitemi no afia mela be echia koko mitemi gedemo tanko le serious la ya ko abe TV nu mo la mi move ole ehwo ame koide ame bubu ogbo li matreso ta me ya de kape ko gede echia me o mi ape ndugba nu mo ya la iplo nu mo ya la ochi ehwo ame echi joroji
mi no an ka be ba fa be za ga ve me magujila o tiaba yo me ma fa me keke khofa me pete me gagner te pe kamia ya mi yo mi no vision mi o que la pe me ta me dogo mi ba fo no be yo mo pele mi aro ko ya mi ba fo no kata ko jo ya mo bubu fo me aba mi ba no fi ma ku me ka ba seregbe ta me po va pe ma hari ko fi afi ndo ya vo keke ve afi ko kama an gba bale na fa val an gba ma van vi afi mi fi ava voir c'était la même fait d'homme haricot. Então, me po do fere corre do comile me ape ela vive o cole me se cra o bu to allo ti lo kakido. Na re kama gale me se la pa me fifia.
Me ko ma gbo be Saturday fi malani e ko abe 12 o'clock. Ya sister eva yo mi le kwa me be e chi gbona mi agbota mi dogo kaka mi dogo le kwa mi a e chi ado mi afe fi ya hoho. ya me kro de vio ya mi dogo mi va ira pe me le fima kaka mbe mi nya echi avaro mo anu pete ho hota mi ga temi onane ko mi ape no pete chi ho mi e blink ni ko de pete blo pete echi akọ matres o ko pete fia mi kwa batia da mi tro matres akọ titre echi a o e repete kaka no pete fia mi va kra mo mi va de no akọ kro kro ha pete echi alewo kaka mi va gere ko mi va ru fia mi ga temi onu echi akọ fi o pete ta ke me gere mi echi ado yin fe fi ta ba ma ga gere chi am yo rem ko do gbe ta no pete echi ho mi ta va sere fi ma gbo be mi ape no gble ya kake a mi anto mi la gbe sugbo mi va le gbo mi mo la mo gota kuku ko de mi na jiru be ne nu ike wa te wa na mi pepe mbe chi ane dio ma ga te va adefuna mi ne ma wa ne wa pele mi am.
According to them, the dredging of the river will prevent further flooding after heavy downpours.
Mi de no na te wa ne mi ba mi fa tojia to gama to fiade ya ne dio kwa e me khe abo gbagbana nana be tsaba gbagbana funa de mi amokole apa ya goji ta ne nu to ro bo no agbo to ga me fe to ga wa de me wa keke me ne mi abene tia ja maga ten agbagba ava me gbo la fe mo.
Kente weavers in Agotimekpetoe have also recounted their losses to Citi News and want urgent measures to be taken to prevent such incidents.
Flooding situation, almost every year it has been happening. So even if it happens again, meaning they will not be able to, we will not be able to do our normal business activities, which is the weaving and any other things. Meaning we have to convey our belongings to different places again, whereby if you consider the cost too of carrying the things from here to other places, it will also affect you financially. So we want to plead with the assembly and then our DC and then the MP, which is His Honorable Mr. Charles Agbeve, that they should do something about the flooding situation for us, so that next time when it happens, we'll be able to stay in our homes.
Assembly member for the area, Philip Akpese, appealed to the government and called for the dredging of the river. According to him, thousands of cities have been lost during the flooding.
By 11 to 12, yao yombe echideyo kakamava medeo. Miape river toje, enye chigare le miagbole peto ya di voto na viba na de aplau aloba in choplo ba na de ho. Le chijale top akwa. Edio na serious ko ede na funa me we le biagbole fia. Ta be 17 years ya mega jokpo. Ta ni choma America melo ngodo mo. Aficha balili ota amope nu ogbele. Alagbegbe ta bedeo ta miele kuku de ne jidudua alo assemble be do di machine wa ba eto amene ni vide risu bene chiganya oktobe kaja matin akaba de mi da ya mo proximity pito pour compéter egbele ope nu sianu onu ketanye to klaba formo be matres dogo ta fokpa ke me do kura ti me ba da se ne gbenye me po ni pe mobile phone e buta soye to me ko fi la ko ba ka chip ni so le makari ko bo ko de ma fi les zaza ta mi de kuku na jiru do abe ya wa gere menemi apeka.
All right, so you see there again similar incident happening there, the river overflowing its banks. In this case, of course, there's no specific dam in the area that the river was feeding, but you see exactly what happened with the Desu, which then caused the overflow into the Weija, and of course, all along our river bodies, we've not done what we need to do. Weeds grow over time. It's very natural. Right, Happy. I think we are very much a, like you said, you've always used this term, reactionary kind of people, where we wait till we see a problem, then we act. And as long as there's no problem, we are walking around, looking at the issues that are happening as though oh God, this year let it not happen, let it not happen. And we'll be rubbing hands, let it not happen. And then, oh, thank God, this year didn't happen.
As if God is a genie.
Thank you.
That's not how it works.
And that's how we like. It's like we believe in magic. You know, we believe in the magic wand. Wave it and it shall happen for you. You know, kind of thing. And you see it repeating itself in so many areas, right? You can tell the mindset of Ghanaians generally. It's almost like if you wave the thing, then, you know, everything will be okay. So it's like even in our sports, we don't do any training, we don't do any proper preparation. You see how countries are working hard. Yeah. We don't do any of that. Then somehow, youth, what's the word? I've forgotten what the word is. You know,
mentorship.
Yes, all of those things. We don't do any of that. Then suddenly they are in their late teens. You expect them to perform magic, and teams should come together and do well. It doesn't happen. People are planning, people are training, people are preparing. They are putting efforts, making sure that they are going in a certain direction deliberately. But we won't do it. Then, by some kind of a stroke of magic, we expect things to.
You see, now this thing about dredging rivers and water bodies.
Yes.
You see, again, it's us just leaving nature to do what it wants.
Exactly.
I don't think we've understood that even though rivers, lagoons, they are natural occurrences and they are there, they still need to be maintained.
Yes.
Once you have people living around as a community. Yeah. See, it's not, we are not talking about some wild where nobody goes there and then somebody just chanced upon the river. Or the river just came to us. The river said, hey, I've come to meet the human beings. No. People live along the banks of these water bodies.
As they do everywhere in the world.
People work. So a lot of fisher folk. And once there's any kind of movement, human activity around the water body, over time, soil, sand, it shifts.
Yeah.
As for weeds, all the more reason for them to grow because there's water feeding them directly. If you are talking about biology and how photosynthesis works and how plant cells multiply, that's really what it is. There's water feeding it directly and it's there. Sunlight, it will rain, extra water, everything is there. Yeah. So we know that over time, rivers that sit within water communities, right? Yeah. Or fishing communities, they need to be dredged. We know that. But so how haven't we done it?
Yeah, yeah.
But then again, even on land, are we weeding places that need to be weeded? Look at the medians in our cities.
We're not doing it.
We don't do it. Yeah. We leave our plants to overgrow. All sorts of insects will pop up and be biting people and spreading all kinds of diseases that we probably haven't even realized exist yet. Yeah. So, again, it's his planning. It's his planning. It's like, okay, it needs to be dredged. Okay, now it's overflowed. Let's go and dredge it. No. And then when you do that, what happens is there's pressure on financial resources because you haven't planned that every year or every 2 years or whatever it is, there's money made available for the dredging. Yeah. So now that has become a problem and flooding is happening and people's lives are...
Emergency, they are rushing to find money.
People's lives are at risk. People's property may be destroyed if you don't deal with the situation. Now you're clamoring to go and look for money that we already don't have to go and solve the situation. And in your clamoring, time is being wasted and the effects of whatever is happening are just rippling. You see, we really, I don't know what else we want to do. I don't know. It's just like, okay, let's just go with emotions. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But like I said, another example of how the bridge is not there to cross. Yeah. Then what do you do?
It's true. Well, I mean, the assembly member for the area, Seth Agbogli, has joined us on the line. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
Yes. So give us a sense of the level of destruction that took place because of the overflow of the river.
Well, dealing with that particular issue sometimes becomes very traumatized because year in, year out, we continue to receive this stretch of damage to properties and lives of people as a result of the overflow of the banks or the banks of the river.
Yeah.
And as my honorable colleague has said, the damage is very expensive.
Mm.
It happens normally to people that are so very close to the banks of the river.
Yeah.
Myself, I had a call, and when I went, the whole place was floating. You know, so many things were floating on the surface of
the water
because of the result of the overflow of the bank of the river.
Yeah.
So the extent is very damaging. I contacted NADMO. From their perspective, nothing has been earmarked for them to distribute to these affected people. So that is the state at which we are, or we find ourselves currently.
Yeah. How many years has this been happening for, as far as you can remember?
It becomes a yearly ritual.
So let's say what, 10 years, 15 years, or longer than that?
Let's say for the past 20 years, it has been a ritual.
I see. Okay, which means that the river has been needing dredging for a long time, but for some reason it's not done.
Exactly so. If you go to the assembly, I can recount about 5 times that we keep repeating it on our budget list.
Okay.
But it has not been. We have 2 actually. We have the dredging of the Petro River. We have 2 separate rivers that flows through Petro.
Okay.
So we have 2 on the budget. 1 has been done, but the project itself has not been done because that one requires a quantum of money of which common fund will be very inadequate to be able to establish.
I see. I see. Okay, so your comment on NADMO, I didn't hear it clearly. I wanted to confirm. Are you saying that NADMO has brought some relief items or not any at all?
For the past 3 years, if it happens, NADMO never comes to the aid of the people by way of bringing any relief items.
Okay.
So myself, recently, I was chased out from one side of the community. Even though they were affected, but I was chased out because they said, if I come, I don't give them anything, or I don't even bring anything to them, so therefore, I shouldn't even come here.
Wow.
Which is what another thing. So
I see.
That is the state that we find ourselves as if the assembly members, they are not on salary. Not with salary.
Yeah.
It's just a communal work we are doing.
Yeah.
But the people feel that we are just like the MPs for the DC who receive salaries, who have source of common fund. The MP has a source of common fund, which is the MP common fund. He has the health fund, the education fund. The Citi Assembly also has a common fund and other things. But the Assembly members, they don't have any sort of fund. But people expect us to, come to their aid when certain things happen, which is...
Yeah. All right. Okay. Honorable, thank you very much for the update. We really appreciate it. We're going to be talking to NADMO as well to find out what's going on and why it is that you haven't received any items over the last few years. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. All right, so we're speaking with Seth Agbobli, who is an assembly member for the Agotime Ziope area. Of course, the Toje River overflowed its banks. He said that there's also the Petoi River, which also overflows, but that one has been dredged. So the challenge there is not really. There's no real challenge in that with that one. But this one, over the last 20 years or so, nothing has been done as far as he can remember. We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Breakfast Daily will continue on this conversation.